660 program.
660, Mr. C.
Throw that application on. Throw that application.
Marinate a little bit. A little marinade. Just a little bit.
Hold on, let me get rid of that. And then I'll bring up this. Let me see a little something, something. Let me see a little something, something. We'll be getting started.
You want to see a little something, something?
Let them see them. Let us see a little something, something.
Boom.
Now, this is the application. We're going to get into the intricate details of it. This is the tool that will give you an opportunity, going through the qualifications, make an extra 500, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, $10,000 a month. We're going to go over that. Mr. Menser, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Mr. C.
Miss Day, can you hear me?
Good morning. Yes, I can.
I'm going to show this first. Whose credit file is that, Mr. Nickens?
Mr. C, that's Mr. Barry Mincer, the birthday man.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes, sir.
How you like that for a birthday present, Mr. Nickens?
Oh, man, that's an awesome birthday present from my brother from another mother.
Mr. Menser, how do you like that for a birthday present?
I love it.
So we put 6 individuals who are leaders, VIP, coach, trainer, investor, elites. 6 individuals. 5 received 700 scores in little less than 60 days. And the 5th one, Mr. Menser, less than 90 days. As you heard me promote and advertise our program for our VIP 300s, I promoted that in 90 days, you will have an opportunity to get 700 scores. And once again, Mr. Nickens, documentation beats conversation.
All day long. Folks out there conversate. They conversating a lot, Mr. C, but they ain't documentating.
Right, right. So right now, we said we got 300 individuals now that need to follow. How about that?
And they got a strong, I mean, when I say a strong platform to follow and strong leaders to follow, oh my goodness.
300 slots left. And from what I hear, we got 2 individuals who have stepped up, Mr. Johnny Ware, and also who else, Miss Deborah Day?
Mr. Jabbar Akbar.
Mr. Jabbar Akbar. Mr. Jabbar Akbar. Mr. Jabbar Akbar. Now, what I'm going to do is, originally what I said was I was going to wait till we got 5 individuals, but I talked to my processor. As you know, the reason why we're able to get an incredible price is because we're going in as a community. We're going in as a group. They know that we have the power, and they are excited about helping us process 300 individuals. So the first group was 6. Second group was projected as 5. but we communicated, so we're going to go 3-5. So we're going to look for the third one. I have, from what I understand, we have at least 2 or 3 individuals who are working towards getting their money together. So I know one of them are going to come through, and we're going to give everybody till Friday, next Friday, to get your money in. And then the next following Monday or Tuesday, we're going to have a compliance call with those individuals. And then we're going to get them started. Now remember, it's a 90-day program. However, knowing me, I like to under-promise and over-deliver. So we got 4, excuse me. So we got Barry, Deborah, Rodney, Steve, Elaine. We got 4 out of the 5 within less than 60 days and 1 with a little less than 90. The program, though, is not less than 60 days because we had to push it and expedite it. It's 90 days. Could even go a little bit more. But for the most part, the goal is to get it, at least the scores. Now, let me clarify that. Getting the scores there, going through the sequence. You know, there's 7 sequences there. First is creating the number. Then the second sequence is getting the number to report to the bureaus. The third sequence is creating a score with trade lines. You got that? So first is getting the number. Second, getting it to report. Third is the trade lines. And fourth is the score. Let me repeat that. 1 is the score. 2, getting it report to the bureaus. 3 is the trade lines. And then 4, creating the score. 5 is when we able to get the buying power. 6 is 6 months later, we bring it to and get business funding with an EIN number. And then 7, again, 6 months later. So we're saying in 90 days, you'll get 1, the score, 2, have it report to the bureaus, 3, make sure the trade lines get it, and 4, get the scores. And because my leaders have stepped up over the years and were instrumental in educating our members on the program, and were loyal in reference to every Tuesday and Thursday initiating the desire, which initiated the vibration, which initiated the frequency. And when you work with me, you understand this terminology, which allowed us to connect to what we were looking for, which is bringing the Mavette Way, the Community Empowerment Movement Network, the I Am Creator in Me training to manifestation on a higher level. It was because of these individuals that we are in the position that we're in right now, where we have the knowledge, the strategy, and the resources. The 700 credit score program, the day trading program, the real estate investing program, the PPN program, the 660 credit score program, the opportunity to create income within the community, the different programs, the Pearl, Ruby, Diamond, etc. program. Now we have the Crown program. An opportunity for us to make money with the 660 program. And there are more that are coming. The key component was they had the desire to make this manifest into its physical realm. And now we're bringing more individuals who are focused on their initial desires, and they want to implement tools and utilize the process to develop now different desires towards success. And I'm going to teach with the Mind Master class and teach with the I Am Creator in Me seminars and teach with the different tools that are made available to us, like MavetTV.com, on how to think things into a higher level of existence. If you're part of the Mind Master morning class, we teach that everything is energy. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. From the energy that's in your mind that transitions to the energy in your hand in its physical realm. As we know, there's no guarantees in life because we don't know if you're going to adapt to the process. However, you always want to put yourself in a position to succeed, to get a what we call a legitimate shot. What I'm teaching has been given to me by some of the best mentors in the country, by some of the best wealth coaches in the country, and it's validated by information you can receive, like Think and Grow Rich, or like individuals like Bob Proctor, like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, like a Stephen Covey, like a Ken Blanchard. And we can reach back to individuals like J. Paul Getty, who was one of the original documented individuals who talked about the law of attraction. And there are many books out, many great speakers, many great educators out that I promote. But I'm going to the foundation so I can have you understand the history, then have you transition into real time, which is our time now. Because I only can teach what I know. I only can show what has helped me and has helped me help many individuals achieve success. We are excited to share what we have. 300 individuals. Use your imagination and think about 300 individuals at a wealth launch seminar walking across the stage. Part of what we call the 700 Club. 300 individuals, not just one PPN, but 2, 3, 4. All of them connecting to EIN numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. With invisible credit. Money that they can use for investing first in their passion and purpose, and then their dream and vision. Lock that into your imagination because it's locked in minds. Let it be said, and then let it be done. And when you get like-minded individuals who are one accord, who communicate in a fashion that's based on wealth and riches, we have a system, the Mavet way. I am the creator in me, investor, multiple assets. Let's get that right. Wealth and riches system. system, plugging into a system. What does the system stand for? Save yourself time, energy, and money. A system that's based on mindset first and then skill set. If you chase money, you'll never have it. But if you chase personal growth, you're sure to obtain wealth. I would highly recommend plugging into our Mind Master call in the morning, 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern, calling in on the conference call line so we can strengthen your mind. Why does your mind need strengthening? All right, let's ask this question. It's a very important question. I want you to write this down. The question is this. Please write this down. I'm going to teach you how to manifest. You want to manifest $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $15,000 a month, $20,000 a month? Do you want to be able to create multiple revenue streams? Here's the question. Here's the question. You've got to write this down. The key to manifestation is a pen and a piece of paper. Is a major tool. Mr. Nickens, the mindset coach, am I correct on that?
You are 1,000% correct, Mr. C.
Real quick, could you elaborate on why that's so important?
Well, one of the things is when you're writing something down on a piece of paper, your subconscious mind doesn't know whether or not it's true or not true. It's accepting whatever you write on the piece of paper. It accepts it. It doesn't say, well, wait a minute, look at your bank account. No, it's accepting what you write. And then we can go even deeper, but we're not going to go deeper, Mr. C. They got to come to the trainer.
Exactly.
They got to come to the trainer because it's some other techniques when you're writing, some things you do. Oh, my goodness, Mr. C. That if they do that, oh, my goodness.
There's no barrier when you write. There's nothing to stop the process when you write it down. You don't get in the way when you write it down. Even if you don't believe it consciously. See, we're getting past your conscious mind. We're getting into your subconscious mind. We're getting into your paradigm. Oh, here we go. Get into those negative knowns. Well, what does this have to do with creating money, Mr. C? What does this have to do with creating money, Mr. C? Well, if you have the creator in you, that means you can create whatever you want, even money. If you listen to the recording that we're promoting, Think and Grow Rich, which is actually a record that was done by Earl Nightingale, going over the 13 principles. The first principle is desire. And he gives the combination on how to create money. He uses it as an example. Now, that combination that he uses, you can create anything. But he uses an analogy. He uses the combination on how to create money. We're promoting everybody to listen to that in the morning when you wake up, in the evening when you go to bed, or at least in the evening when you go to bed. Why? Because it locks into what I'm trying to teach you. It locks into what Mr. Nickens is trying to teach you. It locks into what Mr. Mentzer and Deborah Day and the rest of the team is trying to teach you. If you had an opportunity to listen to Darryl Mooney do a piece on the Mind Master Call, it locks that in. It locks into day trading when you see Miss Elaine do what she does. You're locking that into your imagination. This technique that we are teaching, if we taught this to people of color with our level of emotion, because if you notice the balances you've heard probably many times: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, social, financial. there's an issue with many. We're quick to go from spiritual to emotional. That's part of our DNA. When we can go from spiritual, mental, and then emotional. And then the next piece is obviously into the physical. And then social, meaning socialize in your community, meaning each one, reach one, teach one. What's the last piece? Financial. Oh, on the second, on Wealth Launch 2, the second one on April 26th and 27th. If you went to the first one and you get to the second one, your mind is going to a new level. And even if you didn't go to the first one, you get to the second one because of the energy from the individuals who went to the first one. Mr. Nickens, cannot the individuals who come to the second one, who didn't go to the first one, can they not ride the energy of the individuals who went to the first one?
That's transmutation, Mr.
Oh!
I hit him.
Give the word one more time,
That's
Mr. Nickens.
transmuted that energy, transmutation.
That's a bad boy talking right now. That's a bad boy talking. I can't tell you how many times I've been blessed. God has blessed me to read books and go with information. But now I'm digging deep, and now what I read, but also the times I spend with Mr. Nickens to break down the science behind it. See, there's the theologic piece, the I am the creator in me, the universe. But then there's the science piece that goes with it. Because the creator has created everything. There's nothing on this planet. Everything was here before you got here and will be here when you leave. Nothing has been created and nothing has been destroyed. You just got to connect with the right frequency. A lot of people say, especially spiritual people, especially my belief, God knows everything. He knows it before you was here and after you left. Isn't that what we're saying? Nothing's created, nothing's destroyed. It was here before you got here. He just transmuted the image in your mind and say, here's your blessing. You might have a spirit to help people who are homeless. You might have a spirit to open up daycares. You might have a spirit to be a barber. You might have a spirit to, a hairdresser. That's your blessing. Put that imagination in your head. But what I'm teaching is how to have that passion and purpose, but also think like an investor and establish the blessing. Remember the question that I asked you is, do you like the way you're living? Yes or no? Are you living the way you want to live? Yes or no? Now I want you to circle now. Do you like the way you're living? Yes or no? Circle yes or circle no. Remember what Mr. Nick? Write it down. See, I'm attacking your paradigm right now by consciously making you realize, I don't like the way I'm living. Now, if you said great, yes, great. You still can move. You can still progress. That means you're good. That's not a bad thing. But most people aren't satisfied with the way they're living. Now, what's the second question? Are you living the way you want to live? Put yes or no. Most people will say no. Why? Even people doing good will say no because they always want to better their best. We're implementing desire. That's what's going to make you move. $10,000 ain't going to make you move. Because the terror bearer is going to bring you right back. Just a Bentley or a Mercedes or certain things aren't going to make you move for the most part. There are some people, for whatever reason, there's material things, when they see it, it just, but for most people, it got to be more than that. You have to have an emotional attachment. How you living is an emotional attachment. How your kids are living is an emotional attachment. That's emotional. When you initiate an emotional attachment to something, that increases your desire. That's what will make you move. I have an emotional attachment to my family to create generational wealth. But also there are other things after that that can initiate a desire to make you move. Because once you got that desire, then that will to hold whatever's in your imagination locks it in. So even when you go look at something else, it locks it in. When you go another direction, it locks it in. That's what will does say. I know you got a whole bunch of distractions going on from your kids, from maybe your spouse, maybe your job, but when you look, it brings it back. That will locks that imagination in. That's why every morning we write down your affirmations. Why? Because you had to deal with some things the night before. Boom, locks it in. Also, I call our members' names every morning. Why? Because people love to hear their names. Boom, they lock it in. So our whole goal is to help you stay focused on your imagination of what you want to lock in. Then we teach you that same strategy to make $1,000 a month. Lock it in. $5,000 a month. Lock it in, because it's the same technique. Because once you learn how to do it with your emotional desire, you learn how to do it with anything you want. They ready for me, Mr. Nickens?
I don't think they are, Mr. C. But we're gonna roll anyway.
Okay, we're going to roll anyway.
They're going to have to catch up.
We're going to roll anyway. But that's why you got to go to Wealth Launch 2, Wealth Launch 3, Wealth Launch 4. That's why you lock into our Mind Masterclass, because it keeps you locked in on working on your imagination. And then once you do that and you lock in that will, it locks in that desire, it locks into that vibration. And you, as you know, the body, if you're with me every morning, you hear me being repetitive. Why? Repetition is the mother of all learning. And every time I teach it, I get stronger. As you know, the body is the instrument of the mind. And whatever you have the desire for, that's what your body is going to move towards. And it's going to move towards the frequency. It's going to bring up the frequency that's going to connect you to the how. Now, this is the key. If you are not living the way you want to live, is because you're connected to that frequency that's giving you what you got. So how can I change the way I live, Mr. C? You got to restructure your desire, which restructures your paradigm, because the paradigm is really the conductor of the vibration, which is the conductor of the body, which is the instrument of the mind. So you got to restructure the paradigm, what they call a paradigm shift. And within the paradigm, there are negative knowns and also called habits, but we ain't got time for all that. I let the maestro break it down on Wealth Launch 2. He's going to give you a visual that's going to blow you away. Some of the visual you've seen, but he always puts a little extra twist. He put the congas on this time around. He wants to book something. I said, oh! But you don't need to do something grandiose. You got to do little things to keep locking it in, but it's still repetition. And then there's a terminology that we all utilize to enhance the asset. But listen to this, to overcome the liability they call negative knowns. So you thought this was just going to be an application and show you 660. All that don't matter if you ain't got that desire. All that doesn't matter if you don't know the structure of your mind. I know some of you are anxious and you ain't got no patience and you ready. I just want to learn about this money. I want to learn about this money. I want you to learn about this money, but the mind comes before the money. I'm always going to teach the mind before the money, because that's what's going to make you rich. That's what's going to make you rich. That's what's going to make you successful. That's what's going to give you what you want.
Y'all done made them go into the vault. Y'all done made them go into the vault.
That's what's going to get you what you want. That's what's going to... I am and I have riches in health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. I am and I have riches and health, wealth, happiness, love, success, prosperity, and money. Don't you want those things? There's a strategy. See, I understand. I was blessed to work in a system, and I just had the desire, and I worked the system. But when you and it made me a lot of money, but I didn't understand the true technique of the game. When I became retired, I left $1 million seat. When I became retired, and I knew I was creating the Mavette Way Community Empowerment Movement Network with the VIP elites who decided to take a chance and come with me, because they could have stayed there. And from what I hear, they're happy that they came, because there have been things that have happened along the way. You've seen testimonials of them getting business funding and different things. Now you're seeing 700 scores. How you like your 700 score, Mr. Nickens?
I love it, Mr. C.
We need 300 more. And because they had the desire, if you were on the Mind Master call, you heard me call one of my trade lines. Actually, two. Same company that had two. And because they stepped up, I'm giving them a gift of 3 trade lines. 3 trade lines that have, I believe, 12 and 13 years on them, and one that has, I know, over 10. If you understand the industry, when you're about 5 years wholesale, they'll go about $1,500, retail about $3,000 for a 5-year, trade line. Anything over 10, you're going up the ladder. So for 5-year retail, I've seen them, some less, some more, depending on where you go. If a 5-year could go $3,000, let's say a 10-year, double that, $6,000. So if you got 3, 6,000, 6,000, you got your math hat on, Mr. Nickens? What's 6,000 times 3?
6,000 times 3, Mr. C. That 18,000.
18,000.
18,000.
So you like your 18,000 gift?
I love my 18,000 gift. I'm giving it a big hug.
On Monday, I'm calling the companies, because we weren't going to move until Mr. Mensa was ready. You got what I'm saying? Because no millionaire left behind. That's why we're doing groups. We want to do groups. 3 to 5, boom. 3 to 5, boom. 3 to 5, boom. Nobody left behind. Ain't no individuals here. Teamwork makes the dream work. Also, that allows us to get discounts. That allows us to get a $3,500, 700 score with trade lines at $3,500 instead of 8 to 10 to 15 grand. We ain't talking about the Rudy Poot ones out there. Did I say Rudy Poot?
It's all good. It's all good, Mr. C. We keeping it 100. We keeping it 100, Mr. C.
We ain't talking about the ones that are average or below average. We're talking about the 5 stars. That's how we play. So we're gonna start their trade lines on Monday, and then as they transition, it might take 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. Then we're gonna go for business funding. Our goal is to try to get them with the business funding, if we can, before Wealth Launch 2. And if not, it might come after. We'll see. But the bottom line is they in the game. They in the game. They in the, hold on. Hold
Mr.
on.
C, Mr. C, it's better to be in the game than be in the stadium,
Shut-
up in the nosebleed section. I'm gonna hit him with it, Mr. C. Hold on, let's hit him with Mr. Menses again.
It's good to be in the game. 736. See, that's the step. When I ask, take that out of there, come back to me. So when I ask the question once again, the magical question, do you like the way you're living? I do know one of the scores is one of the ways to change the way you're living is credit scores. See, I'll give you one of my desires, and we can go get into making money. The memo. And I'm going to keep reading this so you understand one of my desires. And hopefully also one of your desires. It might not be your ultimate desire. See, people think it's just one desire. And what I'm going to teach you, when you create a multiple of desires, that moves the paradigm. It's not just one. You do have to have that trigger, that emotional step, but then you start getting other desires to keep you going. That brings up what they call the vibration. I'm giving you some skills on making money. This is all about making money. We've been chasing money for so long, especially people of color, especially black folks. I'm going to go there. We're $1 trillion consumer because we're not using our mind. And because if we used our mind with our emotion, oh my, what? And people say, well, how come people who are making money ain't teaching us that? Because those individuals, I'm going to say, don't know the intricacies of the formula. And there are individuals who are teaching, just people ain't listening. That's why when we come out, I want to make such a major impact, 300 strong. Boom! They're like, oh, this, I don't want just tapping. I want to smack. So till we can wake people up. So we can change ignorance to enlightenment. I don't mean ignorance in reference to IQs. I mean, we're going to wake up some professors with high IQs, and we're going to wake up some other entrepreneurs who are already making money but just don't know how to teach it. And even motivate the ones who are teaching, say, hey, look, we need to get on one accord because I got this knowledge. I want to bring my piece of the puzzle to the table. As I say, think of a big puzzle. Think of a big puzzle with different pieces. We're not the puzzle, we're just a piece of the puzzle. But this piece of the puzzle might motivate the other pieces of color and say, hey, look, if we lock in together synergistically, just like puzzles do, to create a puzzle, you have puzzle pieces. Well, the puzzle pieces lock in together, lockstep. John Hope Bryant, let me give you a desire of mine. We're talking about individuals who are in the, I'm going to just read what he wrote, and I'm going to start with this paragraph. I went on to explain during the course, because he was doing a course of the interview, because he was doing an interview in 2016, we have a version of what I call modern slavery. In our own urban inner city neighborhoods, and this so-called enslavement is all economic. In these places, fully 99% of all our most pressing challenges and daily stresses, from joblessness to crime and violent crime to homicide rates to high school dropout rates to massive levels of the most basic illiteracy, crushed family structures, and an overwhelming lack of home ownership and business ownership. We're focused in 500 credit score neighborhoods. Let me repeat that, because this needs to sink in. Fully 99% of all of our most pressing challenges and daily stresses, from joblessness to crime and violent crime to high homicide rates to high school dropout rates to massive levels of the most basic illiteracy, crushed family structures, and an overwhelming lack of home ownership and business ownership. We're focused on or focused in 500 credit score neighborhoods. You can literally take a 500 credit score map and overlay it on top of all of the worst problems plaguing all the communities in which people in our invisible class, as he calls it, reside: urban, suburban, and rural. They match up perfectly. But for me, it's not really about the credit score. It's about identifying powerful and yet unseen trend lines and intersection points that are or could be transformational for communities. Credit scores are leading indicators, trend lines for the kind of energy present in our neighborhood. To me, credit scores, very much unlike racism or bias or discrimination and countless other things that bedevil the invisible class and the African American race of people specifically on a daily basis, are fantastic because they are so measurable. They are just one powerful example of non-emotional, scientific indicators of success, scientific indicators of success that lets you feel good about the progress you are making. You can see how the changes you are making move your score up the chart. The changes you are making with your mind that moves the scores up the charts. I'm going to add that little bit to it. You can see how the changes you are making move your score up the chart. And believe me, a 100-point increase in your credit score signals an improvement in your life around much more than just your score. It's the movement that signals improvement. Why? Because you implemented desire, then you initiated that vibration, then you see the scores go up, and it's the confidence. It's the feeling, it's the emotional attachment that brings the life into the community. It signals more options. There's a signal, more options. Well, now that I have my scores up, I can get business fund, I can get funding that's going to give me the EIN, that's going to give me the invisible credit, that's going to allow me to invest in real estate, day trading, option trading. It's going to allow me to invest in my passion and purpose. See, it ain't just a score. I'm taking you beyond the score. When I read this, I said, that's us. Know why I found this book and know why this book came at this time? Because we were initiating the desire back in 2015. And when you are on the right frequency, you will connect with other vibrations to bring out what you want to bring out in reference to your imagination. They ready for this?
I don't think they ready, Mr. C. I don't think they ready, but we got to give it to them. We got to give it to them.
Okay. It signals more options, more freedom, and more hope. Every time I read this strengthens my desire because I know we have a strong piece, a strong puzzle piece of the big puzzle. So we doing our share. 300 strong, we doing our share. And what it leads from there, it'll show us how. So we're going to have you understand, you Wealth Launch 2, you got to get to Wealth Launch 2. You got to get to Wealth Launch 2. You got, especially if you went to 1, you get to Wealth Launch 2. Your mind, it's all about your mind. Your mind is going to go to another level, I promise you. And for those who didn't go to 1, you got to get to 2. What do they call it again, Mr. Nickens?
That's that transmuting that energy.
Transmuting that energy. Because we got a whole group of people who are now ready to energize. to bring hope. So it's not just about this application I'm showing you. You got to implement that desire. You got to refocus your life. See what time that we got here. Okay, I'm gonna rock and roll and get this done. This is the easy part. Mr. Menser, how are you, sir?
Great, Mr. C.
I'm going to show the application. I'm showing the application. I'm not sure if you see it, but you can just go over it real quick. And why is it significant? This is going to go into play this week, this upcoming week. It looks like it probably be Wednesday. But we're going to show you the site. But you can start utilizing the process. We will have one more training, one conference call training to go over this information. So I'm looking at the application right now, Mr. Menser. We don't have to go over all the intricate details right now, so you can give a quick overview of what we have, if you don't mind.
Well, the first page lays out the unsecured funding and information on the program. It talks about the qualifications, which are basically the minimum qualifications to qualify for the 660 program, and obviously we're calling it the 660 because that's the minimum credit score that's necessary across all three bureaus. It is important upon the qualifications that there are no co-borrowers allowed. These are individual applications, no authorized users allowed, and no CPNs. If we move to step 2, we're looking at the CTI being an important part of the initial contact with the client. And at this point, it does appear that there will probably be 2 contacts by the CTI. The first contact will basically be ensuring that the individual has gone to one of the 2 selected authorized sites to acquire their 660 scores, and that they're providing that information into the Envision Nation. And then that process is the verification when we get to step number 3. And as I said, there's the two authorized sites that they can go to that the company requires to obtain the Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion information from. Then, once the information has gone in and we've gotten the pre-qual approval, then we will contact the CTI and the applicant that they now can move forward on step number 4, which is actually submitting the application. I think we haven't really decided, I don't think, but there'll probably be a link available that the application will now be can be acquired and pulled down. And then basically there are 2 formats. One is for an individual that receives a paycheck, which is a W-2 format. The second one is an individual that is an independent contractor or person that is in business for themselves, which is the 1099 format. And then it tells you the information that is required for the W-2 form and the information that's required for the 1099 form. The basic difference is on the 1099 form, the individual is going to have to provide 2 years of the most recent tax returns. Then we go into the compliance call process. There'll be an in-house compliance call with Ms. Deborah Day and myself. Then there will be, at that time, we will set up the date and schedule for the compliance call with the underwriting resources to verify the information. Once that is done, at this point, the loan decisions take place within 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. The individual would then be in touch with the underwriting resources where they will have the terms of the loans in terms of what is approved, what is the interest rate, those kind of things. And the individual then can agree to move forward. It is a very short period of time to make a decision, because if you delay too long, the terms and conditions could change because of new information coming in. So we want to make sure that we have coached our applicants so that they're aware that basically this is the information, this is how much you're going to receive, this is the interest rate, these are the payments, etc. Once it has been approved, then the funds are going to be directly deposited into the personal checking account within 7 days. So back up, you'll see there's a copy of a voided check. That's to verify the personal checking account so that they make sure that it goes to the right place. And then the client will remit 15% success fee to the designated account utilizing a wire transfer. And then 30 days out, the client will start making loan payments. Loan statements will be sent to the address on record. And as I said, you can look at it in different ways. We're saying that the minimum income is $30,000 of verified income. They can fund up to 2 times the amount that's verified, which in the $30,000 minimum would be $60,000 maximum. Overall, it seems like they're coming in about $50,000, so that's the figure that we're using. And basically, you're in position to get 1% or $500 by completing the total process. And that means that in most cases, you will have 2 meetings with the applicant, the initial meeting. Then once they have been pre-qualified, working with them to make sure they get in the documentation, either for the W-2 form or the 1099 form. And the cash, as I said, is then deposited directly into the person's personal account within 7 days. I don't know because we've not gone down this road, but sometimes, depending upon the bank may or may not provide authorization to that full amount because they want to make sure that it is a legitimate and verifiable deposit. So that's something we don't control. That's something that the funding institution doesn't control. It's strictly controlled by the receiving bank. And that's down in the small print when you sign up for your checking account. That tells you that the bank has the right to make that decision in terms of verifying any deposits made into the account in terms of what is made available to you immediately. Again, that's bank by bank decision in terms of that situation. That's not something we have a control over. And then it is very important that the client remit the 15% success fee promptly. That's something we don't have any participation or connection with. The sources have their own collection processing, the attorneys, all those kind of things. I don't know, Mr. C, if we want to mention what happens in terms of processing, or we want to do that at a later time.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we'll do that at our call. We're going to have a special call because we're going to release everything on Wednesday. So we're going to have another call on Tuesday to make sure everyone understands the information. Now, what I do want you to do is, let's go to the website, mycemn.com. We see we have a new tab. It says Loan Services. Now, we're still under construction. This won't be ready to officially until Wednesday, but you're going to click that. It's going to say Loan Services, and then you're going to click the button which has on top of the video, and it's going to take you to the small business loan, simple, fast, and flexible. Unsecured funding, no collateral, $25,000 to $400,000. Now, that's where you're going to take your clients. Then you're going to click where they say, see if you qualify. Once they click on that, then it's not live yet, but it will be live. Matter of fact, I think the top button might be live. There you go. Now, what's going to happen is they got to put their name, their email address, their phone number, and your name, and also your email address and your phone number. Extremely important. Why? Because that's what's going to educate us on who helped the person get in, which coach, trainer, investor. Every time you get to this part, now you should have done your homework and make sure that the client has a 660 score. Across the board, TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax. It has to be all three bureaus. As Mr. Mensa said, depending on how much they make, the objective is to try to double what they make. Well, the average normally for 30,000, we checked it out, it's normally about 50 to 60,000. We put 25 to 400,000 just to give us some room, just in case we get an individual who is making 30,000, but for whatever reason, they can't get the full amount. But normally 30,000 will get you 50 to 60,000. 100,000 will get you 200,000. 200,000 will get you 400,000. And as you see here, in 5 to 7 days, we got two options. We got the 660 program, and we still have our Invisible Credit 700 score program. And then we have 4 easy steps. You apply online, you receive the contracts and compliance call. Your job is to help us with the first 3. Where you help the client, you have to be present to help the client get online. You have to be present, meaning not physically present, but at least on the phone with them. Just like as we do our website presentations, how you have to do the presentation with them, that's important. Then your goal is to get them to the compliance call. Now, some of you might want to even listen on this compliance call, just so you're educated. But your job is to get them to the compliance call. And then from there on, we let our loan processing department take over, which will communicate with the client, go over the program again, go over the approval information, make sure everything is right, and then the funds will be wired. And you're going to fall in our normal pay cycle, where we pay once a month. After the volume month, normally it's the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. And depending on how many individuals you get within the volume month will determine how much you get paid. Very, very, very simple. But also on the page, if you scroll down, 4 easy steps for the Invisible Credit, same thing, apply, receive contracts by email, compliance calls, and then they get their invisible business cards. So those are the 2 programs we're going to promote. Your job, this is probably one of the easiest $500 you're going to make. It's just going through the formalities, and I'm going to show you the process after that. Miss Deborah Day, how are you?
Good afternoon. I am incredible. How are you?
Fantastic. I know you're excited about the program, are you not?
Yes, I am overloaded with excitement.
Well, you got 2 scenarios. You're going to take advantage of it, being a VIP elite, but also being the executive director of business funding, you're going to be helping with the compliance calls. So you're going to be wearing 2 hats. So tell everyone why you're really excited about the process. First, let's wear your VIP elite hat, where you're going to be making money with the program. Let's talk about that. Why are you excited about that?
Like you said, this is an easy opportunity to make money with this program. And, one of the things that I do when we release a new program, I start thinking about it in my head very early when you first start speaking on, we have a new program coming out. I start imagining it in my head on how I'm going to get it out there to the community. And yes, I'm very excited about this program because this is, we have, as everybody knows, well, hopefully everyone knows, we have a second chance program. And I'm looking at this 660 program also as a second chance program because, as you know, Mr. C, most of the programs out there require a 700 credit score. And we have more individuals in the community that have a 660 credit score versus a 700 credit score. So this is kind of, to me, I'm looking at it as a second chance as well for individuals that are not quite at 700 and need to have a little bit of work done on their credit for them to get funding. You know, there's so many individuals out there that have suffered from the recession. They have not completely bounced back yet. And so this is an opportunity to get funding for their dream and visions, an opportunity for me to reach out to the community and help. And when I do that, you know, when you give back, you give back. And so giving back to the community, this second chance opportunity with this new program, 660 credit score program, is going to allow me to give back, but also it's going to allow me to make money with the program. I am so excited about this because I came from a industry in mortgages, and I know a lot of brokers who are not able to do things with certain clients that have a 660 or below credit score, or they may have clients that are quite not at 700 where they will be able to get funding at 660 to use for down payment on purchasing a home. So I'm going to be tapping into that community as well from my past with a lot of the brokers that I know to be able to tap into their clients to bring additional business to the Mavette family in the community.
Excellent, excellent. Let's jump on this site real quick. You know, we're talking about the Welcome to the Dream Vision Nation difference. Businesses all over the country have turned to Dream Vision Nation for their business finance needs. We take out the guesswork. We handle all levels of business credit. So whether you qualify for premium discount rates for strong applicants, or you have serious issues you need help with, or like most people, you just aren't sure what the best terms are that you can qualify for, our funding program provides the best terms for your needs and situations. As Ms. Deborah Day said, there's so many individuals out there who are looking for a second chance. Well said, Deborah. Just well said. So not only does the PPN give them a second chance, but the 660, and also the 660 is going to be utilized to finance the PPN. Repeat that. The 660 is going to be utilized to finance the PPN. So programs for all credit levels, true business loans with fixed interest and fixed payments, not a merchant's cash advance, no upfront costs or prepayment penalties. Loan funds can be used for any business purpose. Simple online application. Let's look at the 660 program. Finally, small business owners can get the credit they need at reasonable rates with much easier credit requirements. We have several options available that can provide working capital to a wide variety of businesses. In fact, the business owner's credit scores can be as low as 660 on major credit bureaus. We take out the guesswork. We handle all levels of business credit. So whether you qualify for premium discount rates for strong applicants, or you have serious issues you need help with, or like most people, you just aren't sure what the best terms are that you can qualify for. Our funding program provides the best terms for your needs and situations. Who's our clientele? Oh, how about auto dealers? How about home-based businesses? How about trucking, lodging businesses, cell phone retailers, accountant offices, contractors, internal marketers, internet marketers, tax preparer offices, seasonal businesses, travel agencies, and many more. It's all about revenue stream of your business. Helping individuals to get the money. Helping individuals to get the money. And I'm going to go here real quick. Let's look at I am the creator in me. Where's that? Oh, here we go. It's extremely important. What is our cause? This is also the desire that motivates me. The Mavette Way, Mind, Vision, Energy, Technology, Community Empowerment Movement Network. Join our cause. Billions in funding for small businesses and investors of color and communities across the country. Would you like to join our cause?
Hold up, Mr. C. Did you say millions?
No. Billions.
With a B.
We already did millions.
Come on, Mr. C.
We've graduated. We're going up the ladder now.
All the way up.
Remember, we did millions with the 700 credit score project. Now we got the 660. And you notice we're focusing on people of color. But isn't everybody of color, Mr. Nickens?
You better believe it.
Some folks who are of color don't even know they're of color, but I'm going to let that be another comment.
We're going to wake them up and let them know.
The Mavette Way, baby. Throw this cup on real quick. My money matters.
You better believe
my money matters.
My money matters.
All day, every day.
Trillions of dollars. We're
my
a $1
money
trillion industry, so my
matters.
money matters. My money matters, and I'm going to get my money and put it where I want it to
And then we're going to use our minds, and what are we going to do? We're going to think
and grow
rich. Now watch this. See, everybody out there is trying to do this.
They're trying to just grow rich, Mr. C.
But this is the key. You got to do this first. We get people to think properly and understand the imagination and understand how to do the will to lock it in and understand how to initiate the desire and understand how to initiate the proper vibration and understand that the body is the instrument of the mind, and then we'll lock into the proper frequencies. And when we lock into the proper frequencies, now we have the mentality to make $1,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month. If you go on the chat room, I post this every morning, educating people on not just our past program, but also our new program. That's why a lot of you got to be website certified. Look at Ebony Rich's affirmations completed, Chiquita White, affirmations completed, Darlene Yvette Watley, affirmations completed, Tammy Poindexter. See, what they're doing is they've initiated, look at Deborah Day, she's going to put a money stack. She said billionaire status. See, look at this. I am and I have. Deborah, you put that up. Can you hear me, Deborah? You got to put it in the imagination. Now, this is important, guys. I'm going to share this with you. Then I'm going to show you the money. What we're teaching people is how to memorize. When you understand the dynamics of the imagination. Now, this is the key. On the site, we have, when I go over the PPN, I post a video every morning, or have been posting every morning. Then you got Deborah Day going over how to utilize the tools within the infrastructure. We post this. I post this every morning. Hold on. What time did I post it? Let me scroll up here. Do they give it a time? Hold on. What does that say, Mr. Nickens?
That says 3:16 a.m.
A.M.
Not p.m. A.m.
A.M.
Other people sleeping.
Mr. C's creeping. But posting information. But this is the key, guys. Not only did I put that information, but right under that, Think and Grow Rich. This is Earl Nightingale. This is actually a record, but now they they've already obviously recorded. So you're going to even hear the skips in the record, Mr.
Mr. C, you just messed the millennials up. They said a record. What is
But it's not a record, it's a video. You see it's on YouTube. All right, but if you listen to this every evening, and I'm telling you, the first principle is desire. The first principle is desire. The first principle is desire. And then right underneath there, the new self-image millionaire action tools. Miss Deborah Day, how much they going for again?
The action tools, the
Yes.
self-image millionaire action tools.
Yeah.
They are going for $35. However, if they want their initials engraved on the leather on front of the book, it's an additional $7, and then there's a processing fee for $3. So total $45 if they want everything.
Right. And I will let you know this is going up. The price is going to go up. So I'm letting you know. So you need to make sure you get yours. This right here should be worth over. How much is your affirmations worth, Mr. Nichols?
Almost, Mr. C, you almost made me say a bad word. They're priceless.
Priceless.
Priceless. There is no price.
This is a nice leather cover,
fine.
royalty color, you
That's
know,
right.
kings and queen color, you know what I'm saying?
That color slips into, oh, hold on, they ain't ready.
They ain't ready for it. See, everything we do.
When you put that color, put that thing on your nightstand, and you wake up and you get to write your affirmations in when you wake up, and before you go to sleep at night, you doing. Ooh, I ain't gonna give it to them. You better get the Wealth Launch.
Wealth Launch 2.
That's right.
But also, you need to be website certified so you can get on the chapter, so you can do your affirmations. See, we're working on your imagination. We're working on your will. But let me show you this. We got the new spots, the new monthly recognition spots. Now, you guys probably heard of Ruby and Diamond and Pearl and all that. Now we got, look at folks, this happy birthday, I had to throw that on. Happy birthday to Mr. Barry Mensa!
Yeah. Look at Mr. Mensa.
Miss Elaine posted that, so we had to give Mr. Mensa some love. But let me scroll down on this. I post this every morning. This is what we talk about memorizing. Energy to energy, imagination to manifestation. We talk about step 1 when we have the Thursday call and individuals finish with the call. What you say the person's name, Jim. Say, Jim, because I'm going to always mention the 280 pack, and I'm going to break it down on the Thursday call and Sunday call. So your goal is to get as many people on Sunday as possible. Why? Because if you get them on, I'm going to mention the PPN. That's what everyone wants. They want that 700 score, so we're going to give them what they want. But then when we get them on, we're going to not only mention the PPN, we're going to mention the 660, because we're going to say this is what's going to finance not their PPN, but also finance their dream and vision. There's a strategy behind this. A strategy behind this. Let's go back to here, Mr. Nichols. So we emphasize memorizing this. So after the call is over, 99 and 181 equals 280 for the pre-qualification pack to get into the Second Chance Wealth Coach VIP 300 program and the opportunity to get the PPN. Would you like to start at 280 or 99? If they start at 99, you good. If they start at 280, you even better. Why? Because you just made $100. You notice why subconsciously I just use numbers. For those of you who like to be specific, you can say $280. But I'm teaching you how to do business. And when you come to Wealth Launch 2, I'll break it down even more. So I'm giving you a little taste of how to sink into their minds. There's a reason why you go 280 and then 99. So there's a reason why. I've been doing this for a long time. And then memorizing step 2. This is the I am and I have, and we're talking about contributing, and we're talking about the 12-5 process. I am and I have completed 2 contributions a day, brings financial freedom my way. I am the creator in me I seek, by completing 3 events a week. And then I have made 12 calls a day to motivate and inspire my new client, coach, trainer, investors, and potential new clients. Number 3, I have 12 appointments a week that have gotten 5 ETPs. You should be memorizing this. Memorize every day. But now we're going to talk about, actually I doubled that up, so I'll make sure I don't do that next time. We're talking about memorizing this, the king and queen producers. So you've heard pearl, ruby, diamond, double diamond. Now we got king and queen crown. You want to make 1,000, you want to make 5,000, put this in your memory. Why? Because now you're going to think it into existence. Let's look at this, 5 crown. That's 5 crown, that's 660 deals. That's really 5 deals. We call it 5 crown, 660 deals. You make 2,500 or more. 10 double crown, 660 deals, 5,000 or more. 15 triple crown, 660 deals, 7,500 or more. 20 double crown elite. Put it in your mind, memorize it. If you memorize it, it stays in there. If it stays in there, it breeds a desire. It breeds a desire, it breeds the frequency. Your body is the instrument of the mind. So all of a sudden, you going into businesses, they're going to say, we was looking for you. Or how'd you know I need money? Or you go to your, as we talk about the events a week, why would you want to go to events? Look at this. If you go to I am the creator I seek by completing 3 events a week, all right? 3 events. Now, think about it. If somebody's on Eventbrite and they register and they go to an event, think about this for a second. They register. Then after they register, they don't probably go that day. They got to put it in their calendar. Then when that day comes, they got to get in their car. They got to drive through traffic. They got to get to the event. And it might be a network mixer, it might be whatever it might be, but it's a business event. We do business funding. Well, if we're doing business funding, we're looking for clients who are looking for business funding. So we're looking for people who are looking for us. So think about it. You got that person, went on Eventbrite, put it in their calendar, went to that event. That means they have physically did the work to get to that event. Isn't that a quality client, Mr. Nickens?
Mr. C, that's quality.
Why? Because they did the work to get there. Mm-hmm. They're looking for something.
That's right.
They're looking for something. They're looking for knowledge. They're looking for strategy. But if you're a business owner, aren't you looking for money as well? See, that's like going fishing, and what do they say? It's like fishing in a barrel. What do they call what's that terminology? I don't know. But bottom line is there's a whole bunch of fish in that barrel. Some folks is fishing in the empty barrel. See, I like fishing in the big barrel. They stock the barrel, they stock the lake. So I'm not a fisherman. I used to fish, but I forget all the terms. But it's like, I don't want to use, they say shooting fish in a barrel. I don't want to use that term. You know what I'm saying? So,
but yeah, in the lake.
Man, they stock the lake. That's what it is. I'm going to use that analogy at Wealth,
right.
too.
You got it.
You're working in a stocked lake. Some of y'all fishing in an empty lake. I like to go fish, where they put the fish in. That's stock in the lake, if you didn't know. They take fish and they put them in, and then all of a sudden they mate and they create. So when you go to an event, it's like going to a stock lake. But if you don't have desire, you ain't got no swagger. If you're going in there scared, like, I wonder if they need me. Of course they ain't going to need you. If you're going in, I know y'all need me because I got the money. I got the money. I got the 700. I got the 660. We never talk about the PPN in a large meeting, but you can do it individually and you can do it in small groups. But you got the 700, you got the 660, you got the PPN. Sounds like you got some power to me. And every time you go to these events, it puts you in a position to get crowned. I like to be crowned because I'm a king. And I know Deborah likes to be crowned because she's a queen. That's why we call it, you like that, Mr. Nick?
I love it, Mr. C. I'll get my crown too. Give me my crown.
The king and queen crown producers. How many times can you get crowned? But check it out, because the average is 50,000, you get a point, that's $500. So when you walk in there, you walking in like a king or a queen. You ain't walking in, even if your bank account is negative, use a king or a queen. Even the car, if you wrote it down, it was raggedy. They don't know, go park it down the street.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But make sure your clothes is looking good.
That's
you know
right.
how we do, we still can look good.
That emotion.
Bring that emotion in there. Well, I always say show up and act up. What I mean by act up, not negative, I mean positive. Act up like you are that millionaire. We call you a millionaire for a sec. So walk in there with that swagger, knowing you got the 700, the 660, the PPN. They looking for you. Why y'all afraid to go talk to these people? Now I gave you an incentive. Go get crowned. Go get your crown. And don't get one, go get 5. Why? Because if you get 5, you make $2,500. Why? Because the average is $50,000, but you might get $100,000. Somebody who gets $50,000 in this program, they double it. That's $100,000. You just made $1,000. But I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm going under promise and over deliver. But if you did get 5 at $100,000, that'd be $5,000. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna show that in a second. I know I'm going a little bit over, but this is about the money. I really said from 11 to 1, just so you know, but we had a misprint from 11 to 12. It's really supposed to be 11 to 1, so I really got some time, because if it don't make money, Mr. Nickens,
Don't make sense.
it don't make sense. It's all about money. I understand y'all busy because you got other things you got to do, but didn't I ask a magical question? Do you like the way you living? And if the answer is no, and you circled no, let's go to 1 like we're supposed to, like it should have been done, and let's go get this money. Kings and queens. I love this. I went into the prayer closet and I'm thinking, how can I promote this? And all of a sudden it said, they're kings. You got kings and queens. The 300 VIP, very important people. 300 who are kings and queens. See, I got to get that imagination. I got to lock in that desire. I got to have you walking in before you walk in. Before you walk in, you thinking, I'm a king or a queen or a queen or a king. See, the imagination and the subconscious mind, I should say, don't know better. Whatever you tell it, it is.
That's right.
Whatever you tell it, it is.
I am a king.
You are a king. You are a queen.
Now, how many crowns do you want to get?
How many crowns do you want? You motivated now. You even more motivated.
Yeah.
How many crowns you want? Each crown's worth $500. And it's easy. All you got to do is make sure their scores are right, and you're going to send them to the bureaus. Once they get to the bureaus, then you say, okay, I got 1 in there. Then you're going to take them, make sure they get to the site, enter their information. Then we're going to review their file. Then we're going to say, hey, they're ready. Then you're going to go to them and say, we got to upload your files. You're going to help them upload their files. We're going to do 1 review. Then we're going to say, okay, get them on the compliance call. Then you're going to call them and say, look, and you say, when's the compliance call going to be? We're going to have compliance calls 2 to 3 times a week. We're going to start with 2. Then as it starts to go up, we'll get to 3. It's going to be about the same time. We're going to do an afternoon one and an evening one. So you're going to know the times that the compliance calls are. So you want to get your people in one of the 3 compliance calls that week. And once we finish with the compliance call, then we send it for 1 more compliance session with the underwriter. Everything goes good. Boom. They're going to talk to them, and then bang, they're going to get the funding. So now you got 1, then bang, 2, then bang, 3, then bang, 4. Now don't go to a business. When we said accounting offices or real estate brokers who are going to be sending you people. Because some of you might be saying, well, how can I make a 40 Crown Master Elite? How can I do that? Set up businesses that are going to send you business.
Don't make money.
It don't make sense. Why would a broker send you their person? Why? Because they got an investor who wants to buy investment properties, but they need a down payment for the investment property. So they're like, oh, that king or that queen over there, they got a 660 program. I'll send my clients to that king or that queen. Shoot, I do 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 a month.
Just drop the mic, Mr. C.
That's one real estate broker. That's one. You got 3, 4, 5 or accountants that work with clients who have businesses, and they're talking to their accountant saying, yeah, you know what, I did this so much, I could use some extra revenue. And that accountant says, I know that king, I know that queen out there, and ain't it tax season, Mr. Nickens?
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, they're calling you. And all of a sudden, people knowing people say, this person got the money. This person got the money. This king got the money. This queen got the money. This queen got the money. This king got the money. 500, maybe 700, maybe 1,000. If I don't know, don't get lucky and get one 400,000. That's $4,000. Wait a minute. I know I got to stop. Did you say, because if somebody makes 200,000, they get 400,000. That's $4,000 you just made. Just all you did was make sure the scores was right, make sure they got their paperwork in, and make sure they made their call. $4,000. They didn't hear me right. No, I won't say. That's too much for your head. Let's go back to the 500. Let's go back to the 500. All you did was make sure they got their scores in, make sure they got their paperwork in, and make sure they make their compliance call. 500. I can tell you, I already know. I already know that. You know, a lot of people, not a lot, the few, especially the leaders, they already thinking. You heard Deborah. I know Rodney thinking the same thing. I know Steve thinking the same thing. I know Elaine thinking the same thing. I know Daryl's thinking the same thing. I already know. Now, I was talking to Daryl the other day. We was breaking this down. He gave me that. Wait a minute. Let's rewind.
Yes, sir. Mr. Mooney and Mr. Dave, they in the lab.
Mr. Nichols, can we say more money, please?
More money. Hold on, Mr. Not more money. More money. More money.
Wait a minute. Most of those individuals, too, got 660, so they're going to have to get probably the newsletter subscription that has complimentary credit restoration. That means you make $100. Can you say more money, Mr. Nichols?
More money.
And then most of those individuals, after they get to 660 and they get the newsletter, they probably going to see the PPN. And then remember, you can make 325, 350, and if you're elite, 400.
More money.
And then some of them going to want to be CTIs. They're going to want to get into the program because in order to get the PPN, you got to get the CTI. And every time they sell the newsletter, they make money and you make money. Say that one more time.
More money.
And then all of a sudden you're going to use your money because eventually your scores are going to get right and you're going to develop revenue streams and then you're going to have access also obviously to the PPNs and you're going to buy units and you're going to have people paying rent. What's that called, Mr. Nickens?
More money.
Then all of a sudden you're going to get into the day trading program. You're going to be waking up in the morning with us doing your affirmations, get on your platform and start looking at all the major companies. And when the market crashes and you know how to do the bear market, what's that, Mr. Nickens?
More money.
And then we got in our investment club, and with our investment club, we got professional traders because now you got money. Shoot, you got 50, 200, 300. All you got to do is take $5,000 and put it in an investment club for $5,000. That's 100,000 with 10 individuals. That's $1 million in buying power. I'm doing groups of 10, but now you got a professional trader, and you're getting paid every month. What's that, Mr. Nickens?
More money.
You got to have some imagination now to play with us. You got to have some imagination to play with. You got to have some imagination. You know why? Because you don't like the way you living. And if you're going to get out of your situation, don't take a step. You need to take some leap steps out of your situation. You just don't tiptoe. You got to.
No. You got to take them Hussein Bolt steps.
And there you go.
Hussein Bolt steps.
You know what I mean? They call it multiple revenue stream economics.
More money.
Most millionaires have 7 revenue streams. And then we're going to throw in, how about your passion and purpose? What's that, Mr. Nichols?
More money.
It don't sound just like a shot. It sounds like a legitimate one to me. It's not just a second chance, it's a second chance to me. And then on top of that, you got your 700 score. That gives you more confidence. That gives you more options. That gives you more opportunities. See, you just thinking 700, and maybe you're thinking PPN. But now you got your business and bank, which is your bank that's a business, where you meet me every 90 days, and I'm breaking this down in your head, teaching you and educating you and giving you take my wisdom that was given to me in 2002 that I was able to fine-tune over the years, that helped me build my business and bank 500,000 strong in 24 months and still building to this day. Because if somebody's going to show you something, they better have a stack. Don't you deserve that? Let's show this over here real quick, Mr. Nicky. So somebody comes in, their yearly income is $30,000. All right? Let's say just a simple theoretical example. A simple theoretical example. They get $60,000. All right? Now let's say, for example, after the 15%, I'm going to change this. Let's say they walk away with $50,000. All right. Now, what's going to happen here is you're going to get your 1% off of that. Let's say you get $500. All right, times 10. Times 10, that's times 10. You just made $5,000. Same example over here, 10 grand. Same example over here, 20 grand. Same example over here, 40 grand. Remember that 100,000 I was saying, 1%? That's $1,000 times 10, that's $10,000. But even if you did this and you got 30,000 and you got 10 people in, when we said $10,000, just 5,000 and 5,000. Once again, just a simple theoretical example. We talked about 10 grand. How you doing? How you doing? So you got 10 people. You can get 20 people in a month and make 10 grand, but also you might get a $100,000 client. You might even get a $200,000 client. You might make $2,000 here, 1,000 here, and then that's $3,000 and then another $7,000. I don't know what the combination is going to be, but it's good to have options. It's better to have opportunity. And it's not a shot, it's just a legitimate shot. But if you got the right imagination, if you got the right will, if you got the desire to get out of your situation, then you grab another desire to go make some money. So you got to want to get out of your situation first, because you got to get emotional. You got to say, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. That's got to come first. Then you say, okay, I got that down, I'm doing my affirmations, but now what can I do? How about helping people get money? How about helping the cause? Because now you eliminate the middleman. Say, what do you mean? Normally you got to sell a product like a long distance or some skincare, and that's awesome. I ain't mad at it, because we got a newsletter subscription. But if you helping people get money, if you give back, you're going to get back. So you're going right, this is what you helping people get. And you're getting your success bonus. Because you're helping people achieve success. I don't know what better thing to give somebody. I'm sure there's gifts that are meaningful to people. Don't get me wrong. But right up there got to be money. Right up there. So you're helping to empower your community. Then most of these individuals are going to get what? The newsletter that has a community empowerment pack that has a complimentary credit restoration. Then what are we doing? Strengthening their credit scores. That means we're strengthening their mindset. We're giving them confidence. We're giving them encouragement. We're motivating, educating, inspiring, and even entertaining them. Sounds like we got a plan We got the knowledge, we got the strategy, we got the resources, we got the tools, and we have the plan of execution. That's what creates riches and wealth. So I don't know where you're going to be at this, but one thing I know, don't get confused, I keep it simple. This is more money. What is it, Mr. Nickens?
More money. See, they got money already, Mr. C. we just giving them
more money. You got a job, you get more money. You got a business, that makes money. Now it's time to get more money. You got a job, you're making money, now it's time to get, we already know we got money because we're $1 trillion consumers. Now let's take the more money, you can still use the money you have to take care of your bills, or have use the more money to make investments, because that's what we are, we're investors. Don't take the money and just go spend it, take the money to invest it. Because now, look at this, Mr. Nickens, people who are co-trading investors, they're going to also get the money from the banks, right? So they're going to need money to pay the money back, right? Mm-hmm. So their investments that'll have returns, a day trading will have a return. So you take a percentage and put it back in what you borrowed, and then you net it. Then all of a sudden you got your real estate, take the money that you borrowed from you because you got your own homemade bank, but that's a whole nother lesson for another time, Wealth Launch 2. So then you pay it back. But also this is a revenue stream, we can use that to pay it back. When you got more money, you got more opportunities. You got a better chance to enhance your life and to develop your lifestyle, which is your style of life. So we like to thank, now on Tuesday, also we want to let everybody know, too, I almost forgot, we've extended the month. And what that means is people, I'm trying to get people to bronze, silver, and gold positions. The higher positions you are, the more money you make. And also we're trying to make sure people get certificates for pearl, ruby, and diamond. So what we did was whatever you did for the past volume month, you can keep that until the 30th or the 31st, I should say. So you got to the 31st to get that done. And what I mean by that is if you got 7, if you get 2 more, you make pearl. If you got 3, you get 7 more, you make pearl. If you got 5, let me rewind. If you got 2, you get 3 more, you make pearl. If you got 2 and get 8 more, you make ruby. There you go. So if you got 2, what do you need to get to pearl? 5. What do you need to get to ruby? 10. So if you got 2, you can keep your 2. Because the volume month normally you start all over again. For those of you newbies, the volume month stops on the 21st, and on the 22nd is the new volume month. So it stops on the 21st, and the 22nd is the new volume month. So you start all over. But we're going to allow you to do last month's and keep that and add on to it. Like Deborah Day has 6. She already made pearl. She gets 4 more, she's going to make ruby. I think Pastor Darlene has 5 or 6. She adds on to that. She's going to make ruby. And there are individuals who got 2 and 3. I think Miss Elaine has 2. She does 3 more, she's going to make pearl. She does 8 more, she's going to make ruby. So we gave you some more time to use what you already have. The 31st. You got to the 31st. That's like 9 more days. Why? Because when you come to Wealth Launch 2, I want you to get that promotion certificate, promotion for a raise, but also we call it the monthly, the pearl, ruby, and diamond. And we might even, you know what, Mr. Dickens, we probably going to give some king and queen.
You better believe it. Give some crowns out.
Give some crowns out. Who's going to be the first 5-crown producer? Who going to be the first 10-crown, 15-crown, 20-crown producer? Who going to be that person? That's who I want to know. Who going to be that person? Who going to be that person and say, man, I just made 10 crown, I made $5 grand. Or I made 10 crown, I had some 500s, but I also had a few 1,000s. I just made $8,000. Once again, just a simple theoretical example. You know, throwing that disclaimer out there. We can't guarantee you're going to make the money. We can't guarantee everything we're saying. We're not doing that. That's a disclaimer. It's all on you. It's all on your results. It's all on your success. But I will tell you, you do got an opportunity if you use the formula of success. Once again, I'd like to thank Mr. Nickens, like to thank Ms. Day, like to thank Mr. Menser. Happy birthday once again. And we'd like to thank you for spending time with us, getting educated on your mind so you can make more money. 3 types of individuals in this world: people make things happen, people watch things happen, and people say what happened. It's an honor and a privilege that you lasted this long. See, I know you're somebody who wants to make things happen. Remember, our money matters. Be blessed. See you at the top.